which led me down the path of how do I solve for this by making sure it never happens again. Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Why do we buy well-made shoes or traditionally welted footwear? Could I explain this to a friend or a family member, properly convince them or justify why it's worth and why they should care about spending $300, $400, $500 on a pair of footwear? 5 years ago, I could not imagine spending this much money on a pair of shoes. Sitting where I am today, though, knowing what I know, understanding the true value and the benefit, why it is important to do this, I really couldn't imagine going back and thinking the way that I did. I'll break this into 3 categories, really to stick to the basics, starting with sustainability, the financial aspect, and then the personalization, or just the ability to actually touch and feel those benefits. Starting with the sustainability. If you buy a pair of shoes that's made of real leather, that's something you can care, you can maintain, and you can repair. You can reasonably expect to get at least 10 years out of that pair of shoes, even with just the very basic of care routines. Yes, there's also an environmental aspect to things, but just being really selfish about this, that means you're going to have less junk in your house. The financial aspect, which I'll start with a very quick story. Just before I learned or started to learn about well-made footwear, I needed to buy a new pair of shoes, or I just wanted to. I can't really remember. I bought a pair of Cole Haan because that's what I knew, that's what fit, and that's what I thought really looked nice. A couple of weeks after I got that pair of shoes, the left and the right shoe did not match each other anymore. Looking into how I could fix that, I realized it wasn't real leather and there wasn't much I could do about it, so my answer was to buy another pair. Fast forward a couple months, the same thing happened. That really raised my hypersensitivity to the fact that that could even happen and that there wasn't much I could do about it, which led me down the path of how do I solve for this by making sure it never happens again. Now, how I got from there to $3,000 Japanese bespoke shoes, that's a topic or a conversation for another video. The point is, if you invest in a well-made shoe that's, say, $300, you can expect that to last you 10 years. Let's just say conservatively 5 years. Let's say you spend $50 on shoe care, maybe $100 on a repair. That's $450 over that 5 years. If you, on average, buy 2 pairs of shoes from a department store at $150 a year, that's $1,500. So you're still well ahead of the game by getting the well-made shoe first. These are all obviously benefits of going the route of well-made footwear. The thing is, if you're trying to convey why it's important to you and why it should be important to them, the main thing that's going to do that are the tangible benefits, what they can touch and feel, and what's going to impact each day that they wear the shoes over what you're going to tell them that they're going to benefit from 5, 10 years down the road. At least that's what got it into my head. To start with the most basic, let's talk about the fit. This is an obvious benefit that you're going to experience each and every time that you wear the shoe. The key here is you have to have patience. What I would suggest is go to a real shoe store, a proper shoe store, and have your foot measured, try on a number of sizes, a number of different styles, and just be patient. That'll really set you off on the right path. Building off of that is the personalization. You can obviously get fully custom shoes, but let's stick to the basics. When you wear a shoe for a long time, or even just over the first few weeks, it's going to take on the shape and the form of your foot. The aesthetic of the shoe is also going to take on a very unique patina, which patina is basically just the aging of the leather. Lastly, it's the heritage of the shoe. I'm not a fan of the term heritage, but I think it applies here. This is something that can become generational, and that applies whether you're passing down the physical shoe itself, or you're just passing on these shared experiences, the practice and the routines, as well as the skill of actually caring for your well-made leather shoe. This continues to deliver benefits and positive experiences for years and decades to come. This is honestly scratching the surface on this topic and conversation, but I did have to start somewhere. I'd love to hear what your own experiences are and what it was that made you really understand and convince yourself that you should begin to invest that time and money into your own footwear. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.